Yo, what is good? What anniversary? What is good, yo? Gods of the heights of school today. I guess we just call it gods now. Um, Straight up. Seeing what is about to come is very hard and confusing. As for I really do understand what a lot of people are feeling towards this show when it comes down to the people who have actually watched, who have actually put in time and effort to really love this story and then wait for the animation to come. And somehow they're squeezing in uh, 112 chapters into 13 episodes, which, to be fair, I feel like Crunchyroll is kind of playing a dangerous game, and so is the studio who's making God of High School. Um, it looks phenomenal. It sounds good. The characters look pretty cool, besides the red noses. Um, but then when you go back and you look at just look at this fight, look at this episode alone, right? Like there's so much popping off that if you're someone who hasn't read it like me, there's no way you can tell me you understood every single thing that was happening unless you watch it multiple times, because it feels like there's so much that they're throwing at me at one time that even if I did know what was going on, it would still feel like a jumbling mess, which hence why a lot of the people who actually read it are actually angry, because a lot of this stuff could have been easily fleshed out. Um, Finding out that finally that grandson guy that was casting all the magic and shooting all the attacks with his spell casting has finally actually died. Um, I think him out of everybody has gone through the most. Like he has been eaten alive like 7 freaking times by the shark dude. So he finally gets to go to the afterlife and not experience pain anymore. I mean, I hope that's how the afterlife is, that you don't have to fight and be capable of getting eaten like that alive again. Ugh. But with him passing away, we learned who his grandfather is and that he's actually one of the six, which unfortunately didn't just give him all natural power. Like, it didn't just put him on top of the leaderboards in the God of High School tournament. But to be fair, there was some ridiculous competition. Not a lot of people are going to come out on top against these characters that we're looking at, especially when the story doesn't want you to become on top. But yeah, I really did like what I saw when it comes down to just the powers and all the different crazy stuff. Enough to say that I'll probably read up to 112 chapters, right? I'm gonna read all the way up to where this actually starts taking place and see how much more I can enjoy or at least understand things that are going on, because as of right now, it's hard to say anything is understandable because everything I'm watching is just going at 100 miles per hour when it comes down to narratively. We got a giant Buddha that starts coming out of the skies. The one thing the guy with the scar on his head is good for is stopping stuff from falling out of the sky. He has done nothing but put his hand in the air and try to stop it like he just cares. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of redundant on what I had expected for his character, but I mean, if that's all he's good for, then I guess that's what's up, you know? So, that being said, uh, I thought our main character would actually awaken or like try to fight the best he can, but for some reason that wasn't a thing either. He just didn't go into his mode that helped defeat the nine-tailed fox, which kind of says that it probably is stronger than everything that's going on as of right now. And that might just be me, right? Like, it People are pretty smart, and they might just assume that, oh, they didn't do it because it's just not the right time. It's like, no, they didn't do it probably because he's too strong. Him doing that would have probably been overkill, right? Like, he would have straight up beat the crap out of the guy before he could even transform into what he was in. That's how I see it with this show, anyway. He didn't do it because it wasn't necessary, and then he didn't have enough. Uh, he didn't have enough of a push to do it, but yet he just saw that the guy who was trying to train him in his fights to be stronger has been taken out. He knows probably somewhat of why he's frustrated or something along those lines. He might not know. He might not know that two people got their arms and legs bit off right before, prior to this. Still, he hasn't seen the people, but the people who were hanging out with them were his friends. So if he winds up running past them while they're in the bubble or something healing, then he would know something was up, right? But of course, they can't even show that because that would take too much time. Um, the thing that I really liked about all this whole entire episode mainly was the fact that there was stuff happening. Like, there was cool stuff happening on screen. A lot of people fighting, a lot of people just going at each other's neck. We saw like teleportation where the guy with the scar on his head kind of doesn't seem like all that great of a guy. Like, sure, he's gonna try to save the people in the God of High School competition because they may have potential to help in a longer term fight. But when it came down to all those other humans and stuff, either he couldn't transfer them or he didn't care to, right? But the grandfather transported everybody. He's like, nah, everybody's out of here. I'm blowing this whole place up, which was kind of anticlimactic. He dropped every ounce of power that he had for us to just see the guy with the white hair still be standing with his hands up and looking for the key. But with the key infused into maybe one of the other worst guys possible, I don't know how Morty was supposed to do anything with that. Like, I don't know how he was supposed to use the key if he could in the first place, right? So that also was a weird moment in my opinion. Was just the key in general being like a cat and mouse. Like, whoever has it gets chased, and whoever wants it injects it in their body. I'm sorry, I don't really understand exactly what was going on, and that's probably due to them not explaining anything and just making the fandom or the people watching this accept it. Which, think about it like this: the reason why I say Crunchyroll is kind of messing up with this is if this is how the main crew of the fighting, like the main people who love the God of High School, are getting treated by getting 13 episodes and 112 chapters slam jam packed in the middle of just that amount of episodes, then what are they gonna do to your other webtoons? Like, are the studios all just gonna take this route because it's working, right? Tower of God also had similar problems where they were skipping quite a bit of content, so much so where I was actually watching YouTube videos of how much content there was. I'm pretty sure there might be one for God of High School, I'm not sure, but I didn't care to watch it because I just didn't want spoilers on how powerful certain people were supposed to be or whatever the case. But we'll see now. Um, all I'm trying to say is be careful with your webtoon because now they might try to squeeze it all in within 12 episodes and not give you any really big story branching narratives. They'll just go straight to the ports where they think it's the best to make money, to get attention, to promote that these studios have the animation budget, but they don't have the time and effort to just flesh out the whole entire story with 25 episodes or whatever the case. So I feel kind of bad for the Tower of God and God of High School with how kind of fast they felt in the case of like story narrative and a lot of the missing things that could have been told. But outside of that, let's just hope episode 13 really does help people like this show and series, because if not, You might see a lot of fans ridiculously angry at what they've been getting, because if it was me, I would be too. But at the same time, I'm happy to see this in animation form and how dope it is for people. But let's see how it turns out. With that being said, everybody, I hope you have I hope you have a nice day, night, evening, whatever the case may be when you're watching this. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I will definitely talk to you in the next one. Peace.